Hello and welcome to our new episode of English Perspectives. Our subject today is deception. If Spanish is your first language, you may know that this is a false friend, meaning the same word has a different meaning in the two languages. In English, deception, a noun, refers to lies and dishonesty. The adjective form is deceptive, which can be used in a non-pejorative way to describe something which makes you think something that is not true. This trick of the eye artwork is deceptive. A related verb is deceive, meaning to make somebody believe something which is not true. As you can see in the photo, deceiving someone can often have negative consequences. For now, our focus is on four main verbs. The first is cheat, meaning to gain an advantage through dishonesty. Very simple grammar, like all four words here. For example, he cheated me. Cheat is also a noun, somebody who tries to gain an advantage by dishonesty, especially in games and sports. In its ing gerund form, it's also an adjective, as demonstrated by the country singer Hank Williams.
The cheating heart will tell on you.
To fool somebody has a very similar meaning to the verb to cheat, as in this example from B.B. King.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
However, the noun form is quite different. The victim of a cheat may be a fool, or in other words, an idiot. To trick is again an approximate synonym of the other words. See if you can work out how Blondie uses it here. Whereas the noun is a dishonest activity a cheat might use and a fool might fall for. You may have noticed that deception is a subject which has generated some great music on the subject of dishonesty in love. This is more difficult with a lower frequency, more formal word like mislead. There are examples, but frankly the music is not that great. So I'd like to put mislead into context with this very interesting quote from Bill Gates. The quote demonstrates nicely the meaning of mislead as being making you believe something which is not true. This may be intentional or not. In the quote, it is not. Now, as already mentioned, these verbs are very easy to use. As you can see in the example, a simple subject-verb-object structure is possible. More detail can be given in another clause, such as in the example, by pretending to be rich. These are transitive verbs, so they can be used in the passive voice, as you can see in the second line of the example. This time the extra information given with the preposition by would be the identity of the person or thing which cheated, tricked, fooled, or misled. Now, of course, there are other ways to use these verbs, so let's have a look at some of them, focusing first on the thing which really makes the difference, the preposition. Here we have out of, with a person and a thing as objects, and a choice of two of our verbs with the same meaning. To cheat someone out of something is to use deception to take another person's possessions. Take a look at the examples. With the second preposition into, we normally use a gerund verb, because this is all about using deception to influence the behavior of another person. Again, there are two examples. To finish with prepositions, here are a couple of more specialized examples for the verb cheat. To cheat on somebody is to be unfaithful in love and relationships. The example phrase gives us an excellent reason to avoid this course of action. To cheat at something, often a game or activity, is to use dishonest means to win. The example meme shows an inventive way of cheating at darts. Another example is that Lance Armstrong famously cheated at cycling by doping, the discovery of which proving the saying, cheats never prosper. Okay, let's move on to look at a small selection of false things, deception often being about a lack of authenticity. So let's start with a great adjective to describe something not real. That adjective is fake. Both of our examples, fake news and a fake tan, can actually be connected to one man, Donald Trump. Fake can also be a noun, so something which is not real is simply a fake. Similarly, counterfeit can be an adjective or a noun. However, it is usually used to describe fake art and money. Counterfeits are usually good copies of an original. However, as you can see from the example, this is not always the case. Fans of rom-com cinema may remember the film Green Card with Gerard Depardieu and Andie MacDowell, where the two main characters are involved in a sham marriage. Again, sham meaning not real in adjective or noun form. Of course, the love between the two turns out to be real in the end, so it isn't really a sham after all. Lastly, British people with very long memories may remember the 1957 BBC documentary about spaghetti trees in the Swiss Alps. Some people were actually fooled into believing spaghetti grew on trees by this legendary hoax. Hoax is also a noun or adjective. Type in Panorama Spaghetti Hoax into YouTube for the original report. Okay, let's move on to professional fraud. Our focus is on three words, all nouns and verbs. Con, an abbreviation of confidence trick, swindle, and scam. Scam is more common in American English than British English. So, if you have ever found yourself in this situation, then we might be able to say they conned you, they swindled you, or they scammed you, meaning they took your money by deception. In the passive voice, you were conned, swindled, or scammed by a con man or a swindler. A related language item is rip-off. Again, both a noun and a verb. A rip-off is usually something which is unfairly priced. Anyone who has ever used rail transportation in Britain will be familiar with this concept. So, if you have bought, for example, a single underground train ticket in London, we could say they ripped you off, or you were ripped off. A rip-off is also an inferior imitation of something, so very similar to counterfeit in that sense. Let's finish this video by underlining an important message. Cheats never win. However, people will always be tempted to cheat, in exams for example, and for that reason sometimes precautions must be taken. Thanks for watching.
Whoa!